Hi there ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is a video of my pickups for the month of July 2018, and it's another mixed bag of titles in DVDs and Blu-rays, and we'll crack on with the update. And the first title is a spaghetti western movie in the late 1960s. This came out, starring Giuliano Gemma, who made many spaghetti western movies, and this German release is actually titled Amigos, but the American title of this movie was A Sky Full of Stars for a Roof. Strange title, that one, but this movie has never been released on Blu-ray, and it does come in with a English audio. Never seen this spaghetti western, believe it or not, as there was only a Japanese release of this movie, which was difficult to track down. So I'm glad that this rare Giuliano Gemma movie has finally been released. And Cook Media always puts out quite a lot of spaghetti westerns and American westerns on their label. And this actually does have a score by Ennio Morricone, and he was he's the legendary composer of the Dollars trilogy movies and many other movies. Next two titles are titles that I picked up in a trade with a good friend of mine. Goes by the name of Big Chris, and I will leave the link of his great channel in the description box. And he's a big Bronson movie fan, and he collects a lot of the old school action movies. But he had a spare copy of this Arrow Collector's limited edition of Wes Craven's The Last House on the Left. And it's actually a Wes Craven movie that I've never seen, even though I do admire his work in horror movies in The Hills of Eyes and Nightmare on Elm Street. But many of you guys would have picked this one up in the last month or so. Another fine release by Arrow, and their collector's limited editions always comes heavily stacked with features, different cuts of the movies, and loads and loads of extras, booklets and postcards with this one as well, as Arrow delivers another winner. This is a early Wes Craven movie, The Last House on the Left. So many thanks, Chris, for doing a trade with us on this title. And with that, Chris sent me a DVD, as he knew I was a Laurel and Hardy fan. And this is the Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy Collection Volume 4. And it contains a few silent movies, but I always prefer their talkie movies a lot more. Definitely my favourite all-time comedy duo in Laurel and Hardy, and it's got a very good This Is Your Life feature in this DVD release. So many thanks for sending this to us as a freebie with The House on the Left. A few CEX pickups. Last couple of months I've been picking up a few steel books of the Alien movies. This time this one is Aliens 3, starring Sigourney Weaver. And I haven't seen this movie since I went to the cinema to watch this back in the 90s. And it's not as good as the first two movies. But this one, if I remember, was set in a maximum security prison. Still need to pick up Alien Resurrection in the franchise, and actually I haven't seen that movie, so let's probably pick that one up in the next update. Not the biggest fan on the Marvel or DC superhero movies, as I just feel, in my opinion, there's too much of these movies and TV series being made, as they kind of saturate the market. But Deadpool looks a fun watch, as I have seen a few scenes and the trailer of this, as this film has been mentioned to me by a fellow friend of mine, and this is like a different take on the superhero movies. The Deadpool, starring Ryan Reynolds. A box set that I've been meaning to pick up for quite a while, that shouldn't have been missing from my collection, and that's the Lethal Weapon collection. And just a shame that there wasn't a better cover for this box set, but it does come in with all 4 movies that were very popular in the late 80s and early 90s, starring Mel Gibson, who plays Martin Riggs, and Danny Glover. And really enjoyed the first 2 movies, which were my favourites. Probably the second one was just slightly preferred, in my opinion, which might surprise a few people. But after the third movie with Joe Pesci, I kind of fell out of the franchise, as I kind of found the Joe Pesci character a little bit on the annoying side, even though I do like Joe Pesci in his movies with Robert De Niro. But I haven't seen the 4th one, so it's about time I finally check that one out. This is the Lethal Weapon collection. A Australian release put out by Umbrella, and this is Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, and Death Wish 5, The Face of Death. And the only release of the 5th movie was a Scandinavian release, which I did have, but sold that copy for this one, which is a much newer release. A very good release containing these 2 movies of the vigilante Paul Kersey character. But out of the 2 movies, Death Wish 4 is the better movie, as the last one, The Face of Death, Death Wish 5, was a slightly disappointing finale to the Death Wish franchise with Charles Bronson. The next load of titles, I did do a video of a package sent out by Toddy Walnuts of Kino movies that I bought in a recent Kino sale, and a few freebies that he sent to us, so I'll just quickly show these off. Kino Lorber, a label that puts out a lot of the old school kind of tough guy movies. This one's a Thomas Crown Affair with Faye Dunaway, one of Steve McQueen's finer roles. And this one he plays a sophisticated, suave millionaire, not a role that used to seeing Steve McQueen play, but a very good crime and heist movie, Thomas Crown Affair, with the elegant Faye Dunaway. This one's The Spikes Gang, Lee Marvin Western, directed by Richard Fleischer. This one is a late 70s Sylvester Stallone movie, Fist, where he plays a union leader. A very underrated performance by Sylvester Stallone. And in this movie is Rod Steiger, another fine actor. This is a Norman Jewison film. Some Chuck Norris action. An Eye for an Eye. Early Chuck Norris movie, which kind of goes for quite a bit on the UK eBay sites, but I picked this one up for $8, which was a very cheap price, so I had to pick this one up. Chuck Norris, An Eye for an Eye. Very good crime thriller, Gorky Park, set in Russia, starring William Hurt and Lee Marvin. I remember watching this back in the VHS days. Haven't seen this movie since, so I couldn't wait to pick this one up. Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal in Running Scared. This is a fun cop buddy action movie, this one. Kind of underrated, this one, in the mid-80s. The last Kino title that I picked up in their recent sale, Tough Guys, starring Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. And this one's a fun and enjoyable watch. I last watched this, remember watching this at the cinema. Two great actors, Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster, in many movies that they made together. The few freebies that Todd sent us: Twilight Time release of the Valachi Papers. This is limited to 3,000 copies. Charles Bronson. Early 70s gangster movie where he plays Joe Valachi, who testifies against the mob. A Code Red release of Violent Professionals. A Sergio Martino movie. And Martino normally does giallo movies, and this one stars Richard Conte, who always plays a great villain in Italian movies, and Luke Miranda, who plays the cop in this one. But very good Eurocrime movie, great action scenes and plenty of car chases in this one. Violent Professionals. And the horror movie that he sent to us that caught my eye is Terrifier. This is a killer clown movie. I can't wait to check this one out, because this one, I've seen the trailer and it looked pretty intriguing to me, as I enjoyed the new It movie. And the last freebie that he sent me is this DVD, a Al Adamson double feature, 5 Bloody Graves plus Nurse Sherry, 2 low budget horror movies. Loads of gore, cheaply made, and this one looks like a fun watch. The next pickup is a release that I've been after and trying to track down for quite a while, as it's out of print, and that is the limited dual format edition of Christine, put out by Indicator, which is out of print. As normally when their titles go out of print, they normally release a Amore version, a single disc. and it's the John Carpenter classic. Keith Gordon plays the nerdy high school teenager who buys a red car, who falls in love with this car, which turns out to be evil. But I do have the American Best Buy Steelbook, but Indicator, definitely one of my favourite movie companies. And this comes with the DVD, Blu-ray, region 3, and the booklet, which is a great add-on. Great photos and info of this classic John Carpenter movie. But I actually picked this one up in CX for a very good price of £18. As there was quite a few sellers on eBay selling this out of print edition for $35 and upwards, but really happy that I picked this one up finally. Christine. Next one is a UK release of Firestar, a movie written by Stephen King, and beautiful UK release of this, put out by Plan B Entertainment. And it seems quite a lot of companies these days are trying to look like Arrow or Indicator. There's this one, nice edition, dual format, DVD Blu-ray, comes in with some postcards and the booklet sharing some info about the movie, and also a poster. So everyone trying to look like Arrow or Indicator and give the fans what they really want with tons and tons of extras. I've not seen this movie since the VHS days, and I actually couldn't remember that in this movie it's a all-star cast with George C. Scott, Martin Sheen, Heather Locklear, and a young Drew Barrymore in this movie. But fine release. And a few Clint Eastwood movies to add to my collection, which I am planning on doing a collection of all his movies. This one from Arrow Academy, never seen before actually, and this is The Witches. And Clint Eastwood is featured in the last story of this comedy anthology movie, an Italian movie, and he made an appearance in this movie after the Dollars trilogy movies. The Witches. So I actually look forward to watching this for the first time, as there he is, the man himself. A Clint Eastwood DVD that still hasn't had a Blu-ray release, but I just couldn't wait. Decided to pick up, and this is Pink Cadillac, a late 80s Clint Eastwood movie where he plays a bounty hunter tracking down a woman who is wanted by neo-Nazis, and she's also wanted by her husband, but not one of Clint's greatest movies, but I'm picking up the last few movies that are missing in my collection. So this is Pink Cadillac. And this one is White Hunter, Black Heart, and a different role for Clint Eastwood, who plays a movie director who travels to Africa and has a obsession of hunting and wanting to kill elephant. It's not a bad movie, but not one of the movies that Eastwood would be remembered for. And I'll finish this update with 2 movies that he directed, and this is American Sniper, starring Bradley Cooper. I did have this as a normal Amaray, but I picked up the steelbook for a fairly cheap price. So it just looks a better addition to add to the Eastwood collection in American Sniper. And the last movie is the 1517 to Paris. Clint Eastwood directs this movie. It's based on a true story of a terrorist event, and actually in this movie the actors are played by the survivors from that event. Haven't checked this one out yet. Plan on doing so probably this weekend. It's a fairly short movie, just over 90 minutes. And if anybody wants the UV code, feel free. There it is. So that's the last title that I picked up in the month of July 2018. So guys, till the next video, stay healthy and well, and to all the movie collectors in the YouTube community, as I always finish the video off, keep on collecting.